Frankly, we were tad concerned with your performance history against a deal of this size.
But after meeting you two face to face, we feel like we're in good hands on this one.
We won't let you down, sirs.
Not to mention your bid was far too attractive for us to pass up.
What did you mean by that exactly?
He means you boys lowball the entire industry.
By how much?
You guys came in $53 million lower than the nearest competition.
Oh, okay.
Hello and welcome to Frame by Frame,
the only film and TV review show on the internet hosted by us.
I'm Jim.
And I'm Nick. And this week we're here to talk about War Dogs.
So, based on a true story, Ephraim and David are stoners from Miami who were high school buddies, and they've recently been reunited at a funeral. Ephraim gets David involved in his small-scale arms dealing business, but as the business grows, things start to get out of control.
How did two 20-something young men land a $300 million Pentagon contract?
You told me you guys were selling bed sheets.
I also told you that we're selling other stuff too.
I thought you meant pillows.
Cheney's America!
So Nick, we had a hangover theme last week with Bad Mums.
And we've gone for it again, guys.
We have.
Due to popular demand, obviously coming from the same director of the Hangover, this film here, War Dogs, definitely got that vibe. Before I even realised, obviously, who had been directing it, you definitely feel that same sort of high-energy approach to perhaps not the most glamorous lifestyle.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought it's probably less comedy than Todd Phillips' usual style. I thought he's probably taking on a bit more of a serious subject in a serious movie than the Hangover trilogy.
And I guess that comes with the sort of the nature of the topic you're talking about. Obviously, we're talking about some arms dealing, high, big scale arms dealing that went on during the Iraq War. Obviously, also there's mid-2000s. So there's only so much comedy you're going to be able to bring to what's a pretty sensitive topic over in America still. So a relatively fun film. It obviously sort of high energy, high octane. It sort of glamorizes that international arms dealing lifestyle. And to be pretty honest, arms dealing has never looked more fun. I think Jonah Hill and Miles Teller painted that in a very positive light, which I don't know if that was what the film was setting out to do.
Especially at the early days when they kept saying we're not doing anything illegal, we're just bidding for government contracts and we're getting the small stuff, the crumbs, as they were saying.
Yeah,
they looked like fun. I wanted to do it with them, It's like, hey, sign me up.
I think after we finish filming this, guys, if everyone's cool, do you want to, we'll wrap up and we'll go bid on some, American weapons deals.
Yeah,
it sounds fun. But the film itself, glamorizing that borderline illegal lifestyle, reminds me very much of the 2013 Michael Bay film Pain and Gain, where similar story, they sort of glamorizing a lifestyle of in Pain and Gain. They're obviously talking about extortion. It's a bunch of steroided men. You've got The Rock, you've got Mark Wahlberg, but it just sort of glamorized it, and it's like it's glitzy, it looks like a lot of fun, but at the end of the day, obviously these are all things that have happened, and it's not necessarily the way you want to live your life.
Yeah, I saw a lot of Pain and Gain in it. I saw a bit of Wolf of Wall Street in it. The glamorizing of that lifestyle, kind of, getting away with things you're not supposed to get away with, a bit of it. There was a Scarface poster in the background of Ephraim's office, and that was obviously a touch point for his character.
Yeah.
That was kind of summed up his character in a way.
Yeah, a lot of say Jonah Hill's character looking for that power, and on the point of Scarface, and the film of course was based on, it's a 2011 article published in Rolling Stone, and it was about the actual characters, because it is based on a true story of Ephraim Drevroli and David Packow, and they, a couple of young 20-something guys started international arms dealing. And the article obviously talks heavily about Ephraim Drevroli's character, because he's kind of the catalyst to all this chaos that sort of starts to descend on the two guys. But this guy, Ephraim Drevroli, he wanted this luxurious lifestyle. He thought he was this gangster. He thought he was Scarface, He often, in the article, is really great. He says a lot of lines like, which are very cliched type of things for this film. It's like, once a gun runner, always a gun runner. And those sort of, really poignant lines that almost don't seem out of place in the film, but they came from the guy who the story was based around.
Yeah, absolutely. And his character kind of just seemed a little bit unhinged in the whole movie. And you kind of always had this sense that it was going to bring him undone. His ego was going to bring him undone in the end. David was the more likable character. I thought he was the one that the audience was meant to sympathise with. He was just trying to earn money for his wife and his new baby But Ephraim, there was always that sense of that this could all come crushing down.
Yeah, he was doing it, and the same goes for, again, the character who he was based on. He wasn't in it for a specific reason. It wasn't to have a nice house. It wasn't for his family. He was just money hungry. So at the end of the day, it wasn't for any specific, goal he wanted to achieve. He just wanted to see an extra couple of zeros on his bank balance.
Yeah. So based on the true story, it obviously took a few liberties here and there.
Oh yeah. Look, I'd obviously recommend people head out and Google for the Rolling Stone article. You can find it just by searching obviously War Dogs and Rolling Stone. And it's a good read, but you'll also start to find that, as you'd expect with film and some piece of written media, heavy differences.
Yeah, and I think maybe a few of those differences in the film would have made it a little bit edgier, a little bit grittier for me.
To see it more like the actual story.
Yeah, because I mean, it was said before, glamorizing. It was very fun. It made the arms trade seem very fun. Mm-hmm. Whereas in the real story, there was a few people going missing that weren't explained. They actually did default on a few contracts in the early days. So I think if they had have included a few of those things, then it might have had a bit more edge to it, the film, and maybe a bit more, criticism of the whole war industry. All right, so Nick, I enjoyed this film for the most part. I thought it was fun, kind of loud, brash film. Thought performances were good. Jonah Hill doing more of a drama performance rather than the comedy usually does. Miles Teller was good. Bradley Cooper had a bit of a cameo at the end.
Bradley Cooper as Henry Gerard was a really good performance. I mean, he wasn't in it obviously massively. It was a bit of a bit role, but enjoyable. For the small parts of the film he was in. I enjoyed it too, as you said, fairly fun, and it's definitely a must-see if you obviously want to get into international arms dealing.
You drove these through the Triangle of Death.
The Triangle of Death, bro?
Ah! We drive through all triangles, including your mom's.
Now it's time for what else we've been watching. With the season 7 premiere of The Walking Dead not far away, Nick, you've been watching Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah, look, I'm obviously a big fan of The Walking Dead, so I needed something to tide me over in the meantime. I think the 7th season comes back sort of early October, and in the meantime, I needed something to get me through. And Fear the Walking Dead's been doing that. Obviously, people and fans of The Walking Dead series would know that Fear the Walking Dead is sort of a prequel to that main storyline that we follow. It's essentially right from the get-go of when that zombie outburst starts, and it just follows a small family and the people they come across and what they're doing to sort of survive. As opposed to The Walking Dead, where that's predominantly set on the east coast of America, this follows sort of the west coast and a Californian family who are just trying to sort of make it through the chaotic times. It is a zombie outbreak, essentially.
Yeah, so this is the second season of Fear now. They had a short first season.
Due to popular demand, people love zombies, obviously.
Got
bought back for the second season, and they've returned over the last couple of weeks from their mid-season hiatus, and they're going to run up the rest of the season until the premiere of the newest Walking Dead.
Yeah. Now I'm a Walking Dead fan as well, so I watched Fear the Walking Dead season 1, but I couldn't get on board with it for some reason. I didn't really find the characters that engaging, like some of the great characters are on The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
I didn't really go along with the storyline. I thought it kind of escalated very quickly. It kind of went from zero to crazy very quickly.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it's probably similar story to how a lot of people approached the actual series of The Walking Dead. I want to attribute that to, obviously we've got 6 seasons of The Walking Dead, so we've had plenty of time to fall in love with these characters, get to know them, get to know their backstories. And we just haven't had that with Fear the Walking Dead. We haven't had enough time to figure out if, look, do I like this guy? Do I like this girl? Are they interesting to me? And it's fair to say that for the most part, some of them aren't as interesting as, you've got Rick, you've got Carl, Michonne, and everyone that everyone loves from The Walking Dead. But to an extent, I would probably agree, it's not anywhere near as interesting. And I think that's because it's a very shallow storyline. They're just trying to stay safe, whereas in The Walking Dead, they've realised that there is no being safe, and they're just trying to survive with that in mind.
Yeah, and they've chosen not to have any of the Walking Dead characters on the Fear the Walking Dead.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
Look, as of yet, we yet to see any cameos that are sort of tie the two in together. But my expectation is that Fear the Walking Dead, just due to the popularity of this hit AMC series, it's probably going to get renewed until obviously people hate it quite a bit. And I dare say that we'll see a cameo from one of the characters sooner or later.
Yeah, that would be good. I think that would get me more excited about the show.
That's what I keep watching.
Because we all love, Maggie and Glenn, and we all love Carol. You know, there's so many great characters. Daryl.
Yeah, look, I'd love to see them show up in the Fear the Walking Dead. That's what got me through the first season. Is I just assumed that we'd be seeing these characters that we love to crop up, and I mean, it completely I was oblivious to the fact that obviously different coasts doesn't make a heck of a lot of sense, but I was still hopeful.
Yeah. I didn't like the militarization of the first series. It kind of like the military just came in and seemed that they just started like to bomb half of LA pretty quickly, and and I don't know if that
It seems obviously we don't live in America, so I can't speak to the military setup. It did seem really quick. They really jumped into bombing the cities pretty quickly and sort of putting everyone to these concentration camps, which it'd be great to keep everyone safe, but in the context of the series, it was seemed to happen really quick.
But you're watching season 2, so is there a bit more depth, a bit more character development?
Look, there's more. There's more obviously in the fact that we've got more characters introduced, and I actually find that some of the characters that are introduced in this towards the end of the first season and sort of in the second season are actually a little more appealing to me than that that key cast that we have from the first season. And I think it's just they need to do something with it, a bit different with it all. We've got a family from the Fear the Walking Dead. You've got it's not a conventional family obviously, but you've got the family from The Walking Dead. Initially you had Rick, you had Carl, and it's been done, quite frankly. And obviously they did it a little bit better. That's why everyone likes The Walking Dead more so than Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah, but they've got time. I think the popularity of The Walking Dead will allow Fear a few seasons to develop, and they could.
It needs to get up on its feet. I think it'll do that. We're willing to give it time, obviously. It's not with that. It sounds like we're speaking negatively of it. It's still a great series. As far as a TV show, production value, great cast, pretty good storyline. But if you compare it to The Walking Dead, obviously, it pales in comparison.
When civilization ends, it ends fast.
Well, we hope you're looking forward to the new season of The Walking Dead as much as us.
And if you get a chance, definitely head out to see War Dogs. But until next week, guys, that's about all we've got time for.
I'm Jim.
And I'm Nick. And thank you for watching Frame by Frame.